All righty, so here we are again with the Emerge podcast brought to you by and sponsored by Victory Capital. And as you know, Victory Capital, what Victory Capital does is they exist for one reason and one reason only, and that is to connect investors to the capital that they need to fund their projects. And so this episode of Emerge is brought to you by Victory Capital. And man, I'm just so excited today. I I hope I can just stop smiling because I'm just so excited because I get a chance to interview someone who I haven't known for a long time. But have you ever met a person and you just instantly hit it off and you say, man, that's a good person. And so today I have the pleasure of interviewing a banking professional, just a top-notch person, and her name is Kissena Sheets, and she has a company called Back Office Credit Solutions. And I tell you, when we first met, I was just so impressed, and so I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to turn it over to Kissena Sheets. And so, Kissena, just right off the bat, tell us about yourself and tell us about your background and tell us, how did you get started?
Oh, wow. So, again, my name is Kissena Sheets, and thank you so much for having me on. It's an honor to be here. And I just appreciate you thinking of me. And hopefully, for your viewers, I could provide some sort of be a resource and provide some benefit that will help them with propelling their business. So, thank you again. I appreciate it. Back office credit solutions. So, where did it start? I was a lender for over 16 years with two of the most well-known top financial institutions nationwide. When I first began in the banking industry, I was in a department called Premier Banking. Premier Banking was a step above. I can't really, I hate saying the word above, but it was a tier up from the retail channel and a tier below from your banking and middle market channel. And so, what does that mean? I dealt with the affluent and high net worth clients who had, on average, about a half a million up to about 10 million in investable assets. So I managed portfolios from deposits to credit, investments, you name it. And so from that background, I was able to uh, get receive a skill set in my tenure with the bank, and it has allowed me to be where I am today. Well, in that journey of being a premier client manager, then turned wealth management. So wealth management, I had a series of different licensings. I had my Series 7 license, which allowed me to market different types of investments. And I had my life insurance, 663, it goes on. However, there was a downturn in the economy, as we all experienced, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
And so I went into what is called the retail channel. And this is where I worked with the masses of people. And when I got to that department at another bank, I realized that there was a huge need for financial literacy.
Hmm.
We really didn't know how money worked. We didn't know the importance of credit. We really didn't understand how all of those things formulated and could be beneficial to one in trying to grow their financial portfolio. And coming from an area where I realized the affluent market, most of them are professionals, really didn't have any money challenges. Some of them had money handed to them, handed down. Others were, worked their way up and became very successful. And so they had the background, the financial background, most of them, to not have to worry about, getting a loan or, how am I going to make ends meet. Well, when I got into the retail channel, I really, quite honestly, I couldn't wrap my head around it, because I had been in that space for so long. But then it started dawning on me. I'm like, okay, there's really an issue here. We really need to start from the foundation of what's important, the credit, money, how to make it work for you. And so I started thinking, okay, there's got to be something going on, because I would try to get a loan for an individual, and I knew this one loan could change everything,
Right.
consolidate their high credit cards with high interest rates, and put them in a better position where they could increase their cash flow. But they were unable to do it because they had credit issues, their debt to income ratio was out of whack. It was always something, and most times it was related to credit. So initially, it was selfishly motivated. I'll be quite honest. I'm like, how am I going to get these loans? How am I going to meet my numbers? What in the world am I going to do?
Right.
And so then I just started researching, and I fell upon, credit restoration and the laws, and quite frankly, I realized that the same laws that we used in banking apply to credit restoration. It's just looking at it from a different perspective.
Okay.
Um, and so I just started researching that. I started sharing with clients, try this. This is what I read. And it wasn't until, they came back and was like, this worked. We applied for loans, and it just moved forward from there. And I realized, oh my goodness, I need to be able to share this with more people. Well, Back Office Credit Solutions, to make a long story short, formed. We started as a credit restoration company, but quickly evolved into a financial consulting company. Because even though I was helping people with credit and restoring their credit, they still needed the opportunity to get a loan. How do I how do I become bankable? How do I start my business? How do I grow my business, etc. So to make a long story short, from United States Army to banking, Back Office Credit Solutions, and that's how Back Office Credit Solutions was initially formed. It started as credit restoration, but went quickly evolved into financial consulting, which is my background in that commercial lending space. So that's how it formed. That's
Wow.
I hope I covered it,
Oh
as
yes.
far as how it started, but that was it. And
Yes.
I just
Yes.
wanted to be able to give back and share, because, we suffer from that lack of knowledge, and we really need that financial knowledge to get ahead.
Yeah. And I will say this, that when so I have a banking background and a financial services background. And when you come in to this knowledge, one of the first things that I thought was, man, everybody, they know this. But as you continue to peel back the onion, most people don't know. And it's like, and so one of the soapboxes that I'm on right now is trying to help business owners understand that it's more to starting a business than just getting an LLC, getting some cards, getting a website, and now thinking that you are in business. Yes, you have a business, but that's not all that it takes to run. And you use the term that I really hope people catch on, a bankable business. Because when you become bankable, that opens up a world of opportunities that most of us don't understand. And so I'm just so glad that you have taken on this crusade of helping people understand, what do the banks look for, and what do I look like to the bank. That's good. So with Back Office Credit Solutions, so what all services do you have, and kind of take into account the the audience that I have? They are real estate investors, they're business owners, trying to raise capital to buy houses, to flip houses, to buy and hold. So what kind of services can you offer uh, from Business Credit Solutions that would help real estate investors?
Well, number one thing that I did not mention as a financial consulting company is I work with those. I'm glad you bring in. Majority of your clients are business owners and real estate investors, because I work specifically with them, startup or those businesses who are looking to expand. If they're looking to maximize their credit potential, they're just looking for financial solid advice
Mm.
and looking for to secure business lending opportunities. Some clients or business owners are unable because they have credit issues, they have no or low profits. They're a high risk industry. The list goes on. They've not been in business for 2 years. Those are the things that really stop a lot of business owners from gaining uh, uh, financial backing because they don't fit within the box of the traditional banks. And so for me, what I do is I connect business owners with lenders. I'll understand what the objectives are, your timeline. I want to understand everything that you're trying to accomplish so that I can strategically connect you with the right lender who has an appetite with what you're trying to achieve. I take all of that off of your plate because what happens since we're all so busy, most of us are going from lender to lender. Oh, I want this loan. And instead of that banker telling them, well, we don't really do those types of loans, some of them will. But when I was a lender, the one thing that I was told is I could not stop anyone from applying for a loan. Now, that was disturbing to me because if I knew you didn't qualify, I didn't want you to submit an application knowing you're going to get turned down, right?
Right. Right.
And so this allows me to be strategic. I've got access to over 4,000 lenders, direct lenders nationwide. I know what they're looking for. I'm going to look at your credit. I'm going to look at your finances, take a holistic approach, and I'm going to match you with that person. So you're not going from bank to bank to bank to bank and not knowing who does what. I'm taking that off of your hands. So by the time that we go through the process, you'll be able to have a nice packet to go up to whoever I match you with. And not all of them are traditional. Some are alternative, some are private, some
Okay.
are, uh, venture capitalists. It just depends on who fits with you. And so by the time you get through them, it's going to be very seamless.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Good deal. So let's dive into one area. I know uh, that you really have taken have established yourself in and your company in, and that is in business credit. Talk to us about the importance of business credit and how for people that are wanting to invest in real estate, and also please talk about this. So I'm a. It seems like I'm on a lot of crusades, but I um, I really want business owners to understand that most of them that are leasing space right now for what they're paying in a lease, they could own their own building and build their net worth by I mean the same if they're paying 5, 6, 7,000, 8,000, 10,000 a month, you could have your own building, building equity and building your net worth. I'm sorry, please don't get me started. But so explain how business what
You know
what
what? I'm beaming. I'm just like beaming because I'm like, I try to instill that in
uh-huh,
every client
uh-huh,
because right now what's happening is you're making somebody else rich. You're
yeah,
making, you're padding their financial portfolio. And it's okay to help people, but
right,
just like when you're on the airlines, if that little yellow little mask thing comes on, they always tell you put it on yourself first so you can help
exactly,
others,
exactly.
right? So that's the way that I think. But going back to business credit is allowing the business to stand in its own strength. It's being able to leverage lending in the name of the business, the EIN, not necessarily utilizing your SSN, you as the personal guarantor of the loan. A lot of people don't realize, but some of the larger corporations, Walmart, I mean, all of these places were built on business credit. And what happens, the difference is, with your personal credit, you've got the big three, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. Well, on the business credit, you've got DNB, you have the Experian and Equifax are the main three business credit bureaus, but they feed into other bureaus, Small Business
Mm-hmm,
Financial Exchange, and other depots that lenders use to pull, extract information.
mm-hmm,
And so when you start building up those business credit bureaus, it's saying, hey, you've got some tenure here. You've got a good credit score here. So we know you're paying on time. You know you're doing your due diligence. We know you're a viable business, and we feel comfortable lending to you. Just like your personal, when they go and they want to look at your character on paper for the personal loan, they're going to do it on the business side. And what I will tell you, Aline, what is happening right now with the economy that we're in, and revenue is not generating as it once was with some businesses. Those individuals who built their business credit are now able to leverage that business credit. Those who didn't, and revenues are not where it needs to be. There, of course, SBA is doing some things to kind of help and relax some of that financial tension. But those who have built their business credit are on a whole different path.
Right.
And so being able to leverage that, there is no better opportunity than now to get that started. And when you do, you're going to have various lines of credit that you can rely on. You'll have, your MasterCards, your all types of credit cards, lines of credit, vendor supplier credits. I mean, the list goes on. It's just a matter of taking that first step and getting that secured, so that you can leverage it whenever it is that you need it.
Okay.
You asked another question about, I know, about the having their own.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're paying $8,000, then one thing that I do is I always crunch. I'm a numbers cruncher. I'm crunching those numbers to see, okay, how much you're spending, how much it would be for you to get your own space, to purchase your own property, what your break-even point would be, your debt ratios, your cash flow. I'm going to calculate all of that because I want to show you the benefit of having your own as opposed to renting the space from someone else. Now, starting out, it may be that you rent your space because you want to make sure you have a viable business and it's going to sustain itself. But if you're in business for 5-10 years and you're still leasing, and you've got to look at what you're doing with the revenue. Are you just paying yourself and you're splurging? Is money, kind of falling through the cracks? I'm here to zip all of that up and paint this picture. Hey, this is what's going on right now. Right. And this is what needs to be done. So, right. Sometimes you got to have a little tough skin to work with me, but I'm always respectful. But I do want to share with you the truth. I mean,
right.
you know.
I will say this to kind of divert for a second. Y'all, please don't take that kind looking face to because Kissena will cut you. She will set you straight.
No, I'll be nice though. I'll be nice. I'll just say.
He is nice about it, but she will definitely set you straight. So, man, that is so. So, let me ask you this. So, what's some success stories with your with helping clients build business credit? So, just if you can, what's some of the success stories?
Oh, let's see. There are quite a few.
Mm-hmm.
I have now. One thing about business credit is you can double your purchasing power, right? So you can mix traditional and the business credit together.
Mm-hmm.
I have one client who is able to leverage vehicles in the name of the business only.
Okay.
He did stay with me for the duration. It was like 6 months is really about the time frame. And being able to have equipment and vehicles under the name of the business without personally guaranteeing it, it's not going to impact you on the DTI side. So if you're looking to purchase a home or do some other things, you're not going to have to worry about calculating that monthly payment. So that's one. I work with quite a few truckers and real estate investors. Now, I will say that for real estate investors, it's not going to happen overnight that you're going to be able to go out and get $1 million property and you've only built your business credit for 6 months. You're going to have to massage that a little bit, but I'm going to get you on your way to where you're going to get those lines of credit that will allow you to maybe fix and flip. That will allow you to do, if you want to portfolio some and lease them out. the smaller loans. But continuing to build is going to allow you to get to that point. So the lines of credit, 150, $200,000, equipment, um, the vehicle is really the one of my I would like to say my satisfactory, because a lot of people would like to have the vehicles, and these are different types of vehicles.
Mhm.
It could be your dualies. It could be your F-250s. It could be Lincoln Navigator is the most recent.
Mhm.
So it just depends on what your strengths are. But for my real estate investors, it's really getting your lines of credit in place so that
Okay.
you can leverage that and be able to pull the trigger if you find a property that you want to invest in. You don't have to worry about going to the bank and getting a loan and using that as collateral. You've already got the money right then, and you can negotiate. You got negotiating power at that point.
That's great. That's because especially in this climate, because I'm telling you, houses and lots are not staying on the market too long, and so you need access to that quick capital to where when you find a lot or you find a property that that you're going to flip. Or, and here's the other thing too, is sometimes what you need to show now is you need to show that you have reserves in place, so that when alternative, well, not just alternative, but when lenders do lend you funds to fix and flip or to buy and hold or whatever, now they want to make sure that you have some reserves in the bank, and that you have some cash that you can invest in your properties. So that is great. That is great. All right, so let me ask you this. So what's some advice that you would give to real estate investors and business owners when it comes to credit, when it comes to being a bankable entity? What's some advice that you would give to them?
I'm so glad you asked that question. Have your finances in order.
Hmm.
And I say that because a lot of people missed out on the free money with the SBA simply because they were commingling funds. They didn't have their expense, they didn't have anything together. And all this free money that the government is just throwing at you, they could not get. And
Wow.
so now is the time to make sure your entity is set up. If you are a real estate investor, I dare to say you should not be set up as a sole proprietor.
Okay.
There's no reason to be set up as a sole proprietor. There's
Okay.
too much risk involved.
Hmm.
So, have your corporation set up. As far as the financing piece, now everybody may not have the best credit. It's okay.
Right.
We'll get you there, but credit is important if you're going to look at traditional, because you had mentioned about having your reserves. Most traditional banks, institutions will want to see that. Make sure that your finances are separated, your business and your personal. Make sure you are filing your taxes accordingly. Make sure that you are still active with the Secretary of State. Make sure you're a viable business.
Hmm.
Um, One thing I will also mention is um, for um, real estate, you really need to um, have your team in place. So have your CPA, somebody that you can bounce ideas, because tax consequences are important. You want
Yeah.
to know how this is going to
Affect you.
impact you
Yep. Yep. Yep.
one way or another. You
Yep.
need to have I call them my board of directors. Have
Hmm.
your legal team together. Legal Shield, have your contracts and everything. Legal Shield is one of the most inexpensive ways to view contracts, and just the nuances, because if you go to, and I love attorneys, don't get me wrong, I work with
Hmm.
quite a few of them,
Hmm.
but if you're an up and coming, you might not be able to pay so much on their hourly rate, so you can use another form to tap into that until, right? So have your board of directors accountability, make sure you're on top of things. But I cannot stress enough the importance of business. Know your Have your income statement. Look at that regularly. Look at your balance sheet. Look at your expenses. You want to make sure you know what is going on, what's incoming, what's outflowing. If you don't look at them, then you're going to be losing a lot of money. And when you look up, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I spent that in a year. You know, we all do it, even on our personal. We look at it and be like, I spent that much going
yeah,
out to eat.
yeah, yeah.
So that's what I would certainly, if I could make one recommendation, is get your finances in order. And if if they have questions about that, I'm always available. I always have consultations.
Hmm.
But I know what the lenders are going to look for, and you've got to have that in place. Um, and one thing I do want to make sure that I mention, Alim, is if you have an LLC, whether single member, partnership, multi-member, S corp, whatever, if you're commingling funds, that's the quickest way to pierce that corporate veil. You no longer have the protection of that entity. So if somebody is going to
Explain.
sue you and they find out that you're commingling funds, that negates all protection. Just
So
just that
explain
quick.
that.
All right.
Explain what
So co-
co-mingling of funds is.
commingle of funds is where you are using your business account for personal use. So you're using your business account and you're paying your I don't know, your personal car payment, or I know things where you're going out to eat. You're feeding your family, you're going out to eat. And now, some circumstances it is business related, but you know what I mean. You're going to Dollar Tree and you're getting or you're going to Walmart, you're getting groceries and things like that. Well, that means you're commingling. You're intertwining your business and your personal. You really can't justify. And you really can't look at a lender wouldn't be able to look at your bank statement and say, okay, all these are business purposes,
Right, right,
right?
right,
And
right.
so that's what I mean. And that's a way, if somebody wanted to sue you and they know that you're commingling, it comes out that you're commingling funds, then they can get to you. You no longer have the protection, and they can come after your personal assets.
Wow. Yeah, I just had this conversation with someone today, and that advising them to please, as soon as you can, get out of that sole proprietorship and get you at least an LLC, at least. So yeah, that's good stuff. Um, so you expounded on co-mingling funds, and and then you expounded on having a team. And here's the one thing that I've learned, and I had to learn this lesson the hard way when I had businesses in the past. Didn't always have the right team members on my team.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that those people were just trying to get that they were an unnecessary expense. And then when I come to find out that you need a CPA on your team, you need not just a CPA, but you need a good CPA. One of the things that I've recently learned for investors that own multifamily, there's something called cost segregation. And if you're a multifamily apartment owner and you don't know about cost segregation, you're losing hundreds of thousands in tax credits. And that's the thing. And this is a subject that I'm gonna probably have to bring you back on to discuss, is what we need to do as business owners, because it's, as I said, it's more to it than just having a product or a service to sell. So and we tend to get caught up on that, and we tend to get caught up on building a brand, but we don't understand you got to build a business before you build a brand, or you do the two simultaneously. So,
Mm-hmm.
but good stuff,
Yeah.
good stuff. So, so how can someone get in contact with Kissena?
Well, you can reach me at the number that you see, 972-677-3460. You can email us. Those are probably the best ways. You can also go to backofficecreditsolutions.com,
Okay,
read all about us, Google us, look at our reviews.
okay,
We have reviews on Google, we've got reviews on Facebook. So that's probably those are probably the best ways to reach out.
Okay.
And yeah,
Okay.
so
So you not only do business credit, but you also help people repair their personal credit also.
absolutely. We're
Okay.
a certified credit restoration company. So
Okay.
if I am looking for a business loan for you and I see that there are some things that you might need to work on your personal, I take that, it allows me to take that holistic approach.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I can go ahead and quickly get that taken care of if it's needed as I'm building your business credit. And then we move on, and we've got quite a few credit building products and services that have been instrumental in helping our clients quickly accelerate their credit score, their personal credit score.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So would you like to take a few seconds and kind of expound on those, a few of your credit solutions?
Oh yeah. Well, we've got different lines available that can help out. We've got user accounts, which allows you to piggyback off of different um, um, card owners. A lot of people have asked me, okay, is that legal? Can you do that? Yes, it is. It's called piggybacking, and it is a legal term. Now, it first started with allowing you to do it off friends and family, but now, I mean, you can do it off anyone. There's so many different ways. You've got jewelry cards, you've got credit building types of secured cards. The one thing that I always go to first is to see if there's anyone that you know, friends or family, that you could quickly be an authorized user on their account, which means you don't get access to their account. You only
Right.
are able to leverage their credit. So,
Right.
um, you won't be able to call in to get that information on what the balance is or anything like that, but you just will be able to leverage not only the utilization, the payment history, but the length of credit as well. So there are three areas that you can hit when it comes to FICO.
Okay. Okay.
So yes.
That's
Mhm.
good. That's good. And I am so glad that you answered that question because of course, I've come across people that have talked about uh, utilizing someone's account as an authorized user, and I had those same questions of the legality of them. So I'm glad you cleared that up for me. All right, good deal. So in this segment, but well, before I get to this segment, I'm gonna take a pause and give another sponsorship. So this Emerge webinar is brought to you again by Victory Capital. And Victory Capital exists for one reason and one reason only, and that is to connect investors to capital to fund the real estate projects that they have. So go to Victory Capital, and it's spelled VIKTORY, victorycapital.com. All right. Victory Capital is the sponsor of this great show that we're having today. So as we wrap up, Kissena, I normally ask my guests three uh, fairly quickly questions. And so the first question I want to ask you is, what books are you reading right
So I do my morning devotion
now?
every day.
Okay.
So the Bible is one
Okay.
always.
Okay.
I don't read more than one other type of book because I've tried to read multiple books at one time and it just confused me. But the book that I'm reading right now is called The One, and it is about what's your one thing. And that's something a business coach had shared with me, um, quite not too long ago, maybe last year or so,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because I was focusing on so many different areas. And he was like, you need to focus on one thing, you need to perfect that one thing. And actually, I keep the book on my desk because I'm
Mm-hmm.
reading it, but
Mm-hmm.
um, that's what I'm reading. It is Gary Keller. So if you've not read it, pick it up. It's got some great gems. My next book, um, High Performing Habits, is the next book that I'm reading. It's in my arsenal, and that is just about perfecting your daily habits. and where your strengths lie, where your weaknesses lie, and what you need to do about that. And the one thing I like about that is I took an assessment
Hmm.
prior
Hmm.
to getting the book, and the
Hmm.
assessment really told a different story of what I felt about myself or what I thought about myself. And um, the book is free. Once you do the assessment, the book is free. And so I ordered the book. It came in, and I'm really eager to read that book. So, but after I read the one thing.
Yeah, yeah. I can definitely agree with you. It is hard being focused on one thing, especially, and this may sound arrogant to some people, but when you really know that you could do a lot of things, but it's like, and 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 especially in the financial services industry, there's so many avenues that you could take.
Mm-hmm.
And I give you a prime example. I was looking at Facebook and I saw a sponsored ad and something hit. I was like, man, I got some contacts in that area. I could do this. And next thing I know, I didn't call the guy and then set something up. And it's like, why did you do that? You finish what you're starting now. So,
Yep.
oh, I definitely understand. I definitely understand. So,
I've
but
come to the terms that I've come to the realization that I am not a multitasker.
yeah, yeah.
I thought
I'm not even.
I was, and I think it was because people used to say women can multitask, so
Mhm.
I just assumed that I could. I'm not,
Yeah,
and I just need to maintain the focus
yeah,
and
yeah,
calendar things. So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So good, good. All right. So the next question is this: so somebody's coming in town, family, friends, or whatever. Somebody's coming in town to see Kissena. So what's your favorite restaurant that you're going to take them to?
Eddie V's,
Eddie V's.
Eddie V's,
I'm
Eddie
going
V's.
there tomorrow. My wife and I are celebrating our 24th anniversary, and so we're going to Eddie V's tomorrow. Yes,
That
ma'am.
is awesome. That is
Yeah, yeah.
awesome. I tell you, if you go to the one in Dallas,
Uh,
some people go to the one in Fort. I think
or-
there's another one in Fort Worth that's on the corner of 7th Street.
yeah, yeah.
The one in Dallas though is not too far from like a chocolate secrets. They have all different types of chocolates there, and it's a jazz club, and it's right across the street. So we hit
Oh,
over
okay.
there afterwards,
Oh,
and
okay.
happy anniversary! That is so
Thank you.
exciting.
Yep. So tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow's the day. 24 years
That is
of
great.
being married. Yes, ma'am. All righty. So the next question is, and I always I I like to end with this question because it's a really, really deep question. What would Kissena today, and I'm not going to ask you how old you are, but what would Kissena today tell Kissena at 18?
Mm. Kissena today would tell Kissena at 18 to listen to your mother. If I had only listened to her, my life would have been so smooth. And I mean that wholeheartedly.
Mhm.
I had to go back to college and finish my degree. Had I listened to her, I would have finished it in my 4 years. I would have um, not stray. I mean, I think we all have a moment where we stray, but my mother's an evangelist, and so I grew up in church, and I I think if I had listened to her about the things that were going to happen, or just focus more so on the Bible and the promises of standing on God's word, I think my life would have been a lot smoother as well. And but I know that we have to experience life, right? I know we have to go through that to realize and experience things for ourselves. But if I had just listened to her, I think that's what I would have done. I would have finished college the first round. I would have waited um, for a lot of things. I wanted microwave. I wanted it right now, and those weren't the best choices. So there are so many things. If I think about that tonight at 2 o'clock 2 o'clock in the morning, I'd be like, oh man, I should have said that to Aline. That would have been great.
Right, right.
But that is one of the things, and she would appreciate that. And I'll have to tell her that. But just listening to her wisdom, um, that she was trying to share with me and be what I wish I would have been more receptive to that.
Well, there is something else that we share in common because I was raised by an evangelist as well. So, uh, and man, I could not wait to get out of the house at 18. I was like, I've been as far away from my evangelist mom and the church and the whole 9 yards. So, yeah, I definitely understand. I definitely understand. Well, good. So, I am so excited that that you have spent this time with us today. I hope the audience takes advantage of the expertise that you have. So please reach out to Kissena at the information that's on the screen, and it's at info@backofficecs.com, and she even has her phone number here. So please, if you're in need of someone to work on your credit, if you need someone to help you get business loans, uh, loans to purchase real estate, Kissena is the person. She's a great person. I can vouch for her, and I'll just say that she's going to also do some work for me. So that should speak volumes within itself. So again, Kissena, any last closing thoughts?
Now, I just really appreciate you having me on. Really quickly, if you have not submitted your loan for the SBA disaster loan offerings, please do. They've extended the PPP to August 8th. Um, please, it's free. It's free money. I will help you. I just want you to get what is rightfully yours. If you were in business by February 15th of 2020, even if you started January 1st of 2020, you qualify for some funding. So please reach out, make sure you do the EIDL. I do have other SBA offerings, but those two are free right now. Um, Let me know how I can help. So, Aleem, I really do appreciate you giving me a platform to share what I do and how I can be a benefit to others, and trusting me enough to share this information with your viewers. I really appreciate that.
Hey, it's enough to go around for everyone. So that's just how I am. But now you just piqued my interest because, uh, and I'll just give you a call because I'm seeing, and then I was even denied for the EIDL, and
Mm-hmm.
so I need to give you a call on that too because there's what you just shared, that even if you just started your business this year, I mean, most people don't feel like they're qualified if they just started a business on this year. So that's huge.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I could talk to Kissena all day, so be sure and give her a call. She's a wealth of info. So again, thank you, Kissena. I wish you much success, and I know that 2020 is going to be a great year, and I know that God is just going to continue to smile on you because you're a great person and you have a great heart. So thank you again. All right.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All righty.
And thank
Thank you
you as
guys.
well.
All righty. Thank y'all again. This has been the Emerge webinar where I get a chance, where I've had the opportunity to interview Miss Kissena Sheets of Back Office Credit Solutions. All right. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.